Hey everybody, welcome back to Alienated Press. Today is Monday, February the 13th, 2023. Instead of doing our different news stories today, we're going to have a special episode covering something very important that people need to know far and wide across the United States. The heroic Cop City protesters are calling for a week of solidarity. They say on their Instagram, they say, "Week of solidarity, no Cop City anywhere, defend the forest everywhere." It's on February 19th through 26th. They say that you could submit your events to defendtheatlantaforest.org/calendar. It says on Tuesday, January 31st, the permits to destroy the Weelaunee Forest were approved. The Weelaunee Forest is the location that they will be building Cop City. It says, "We call on forest defenders, wherever you are, to act in solidarity with the Atlanta Forest. StopCopCitySolidarity.org. They say to protest, rally, sit in, and teach in. Call up and email the contractors signed on to build Cop City, the politicians ramming it through, and the corporate backers funding this project." It says check out StopCopCitySolidarity.com to find out who is responsible for destroying the forest. They might even be near you. And then it says, rest in peace, Tortuguita, rest in peace, Tyree Nichols, rest in peace, all those who have lost their lives to police violence. In the caption, it says, week of action coming up across the country, February 19th through 26th. Mobilize now to defend the Weelaunee Forest wherever you live. Check out StopCopCitySolidarity.org, not .com, .org, to find out which investors for the Atlanta Police Foundation are near you. Repost from at Defend Atlanta Forest. It says hashtag Defend Atlanta Forest, hashtag Stop Cop City, hashtag Week of Action, hashtag We Are Weelaunee, hashtag Action Now, hashtag Atlanta, hashtag Worldwide. If you don't know what Cop City is, here's a post also on their Instagram that says, what is Cop City? Cop City refers to the Atlanta Police Foundation's $90 million police military compound, the largest police facility in the U.S. Cop City is specifically designed to train police in, quote, crowd control, end quote, and urban warfare techniques. City of Atlanta has leased 381 acres of the Weelaunee Forest in southeast Atlanta for $10 a year for Cop City, despite public opposition. Plans for Cop City include 1. A fake city replicating city blocks and buildings. 2. Quote, shoot house, end quote, where police can practice shooting civilians. 3. Black Hawk helicopter landing pad. 4. High-speed driving course. 5. Bomb detonation range. 6. Virtual reality shooting simulations. 7. Dozens of shooting ranges. It says further militarizing police would make Atlanta's communities, especially black communities, less safe. Cop City would worsen police brutality and surveillance, which already disproportionately target black communities. The police have already taken so many black lives, and Cop City would only expand the violence of the police state. It says Southeast Atlanta is already disproportionately affected by environmental racism through industrial runoff, landfills, and pollution from nearby highways. Weelaunee Forest is essential in offsetting these environmental hazards. It says Cop City has never been about public safety. This facility is designed by corporations so that cops can better suppress social movements and protect rich people's assets. Follow the money. Link to Color of Change's report on police foundations in bio. We might ask, why would the U.S. corporate state want to build something like this here within the United States, where it's a humongous military base for police to train? It's common sense that it won't just be Atlanta police training in a facility this large. It will be police all over the country, and which may be why it's specifically placed in Atlanta, where it's kind of in the middle of the most populated part of the country. So why would they start building something like this? Why would they all get behind this? Why would the media not be talking about it? Why would even, opportunist left figures never mention it? Well, as we all remember, the largest unrest in U.S. history happened just 2 years ago. And it was the common sentiments among this entire movement, the Black Lives Matter protests of 2020, was against police brutality and, systemic racism in the police and corruption in the police. Every orange dot you see on this map is where there was a Black Lives Matter protest that shared the same sentiment. But some of these protests would reach up to 300,000 people in the cities at one single time, went on all year during 2020. The corporate state, our private prison industrial complex, was absolutely terrified of this, of how many people had united spontaneously, against police, the current prison and police system that we live in. And then immediately after it ended, there had began a massive strike wave across the United States as well that grew over the next 2 years. Just to show how ingrained the sentiment was in the United States, this is a zoom in of the map that showed all the Black Lives Matter protests in the areas surrounding Atlanta, Georgia. However, even though that these clearly showed the sentiments of the people in the United States, we see the contradiction between corporate democracy and truly free people's democracy. When you see the results in what our state had continued doing after these protests, even though all these people had shown this sentiment, had united and protested and demonstrated this sentiment, let's look at what followed afterwards. Mapping Police Violence says that police killed 1,192 people in 2022. That is an all-new record, that the police, even though the police were killing over 1,000 every year before 2020, they've increased their murders every year. They've increased their killing every year. All the while, the United States is still the most incarcerated country in human history, makes up only 4% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prison population. And why is this? Is because our prisons are privately owned. And so what's decided for our prisons and what's decided, just like our military, what's decided for what our military does is not decided by the people of the United States, but is decided in a private corporate board who then lobby the government to carry out what they want over what people actually want. This is why, rather than answering the demands of the largest unrest in U.S. history, the corporations are instead militarizing, the police here in the United States so that they can just beat us back into submission, rather than reforming. Simply because if they were to even nationalize the prison complex, nationalize the military complex, well, that would, destroy profit for these corporations. They make profit off labor. They make profit off these wars. They do a lot of business deals, but also, even the military industrial complexes, weapon output that it sells, that it lobbies our government to buy from them, that would no longer be their private income. So of course they're not going to meet our demands. This is where kind of the moment of truth comes through. What is really a democracy? Is it whatever profits corporations, or is it when the people get to determine their own destiny, when they get to determine their own fate politically, when they get to have a say over how their community is policed? Instead, this corporate state that we live under is militarizing the police. And they will be using Cop City to militarize the police all across the country. However, the brave fighters, protesting Cop City and the people of Atlanta have been standing up and helping the rest of the country fight off this tyranny, going as far as giving their lives to keeping the police from militarizing against the people here, fighting for the people. And I think that's why, it's obvious that that's why we have to do everything we can to allow as many people as possible to know what's going on. And we have to carry out action now to unite behind the Cop City protesters and what they're doing. And, as they're calling for here, February 19th through 26th, they say here, protest, rally, sit in, teach in, call up and email the contractors, the corporate backers, the politicians. It's important that we get this out far as wide as we can, and we tell everybody possible about what's going on, what's actually happening. So this is why, I'm doing this today instead of a regular news update. Please share this around. Please let everybody know about it. They're also calling for a week of action March 4th through 11th. So not only just in February 19th through 26th, but also March 4th through 11th, as they absolutely should, because this is such a dire issue for everybody who went to a Black Lives Matter protest in 2020. Everybody needs to understand what the corporate state is doing now, and what we have to do again. What we have to do even stronger, better, and more organized. We have to organize the people in our community so that they are all more on the same page, so that they gain experience through this and are able to practice what I call their inalienable dictatorship over any state, as the people, as the working people, whose production is what continues society instead of deadweight corporate ownership. They have to be able to practice their inalienable dictatorship. They have to stand up. They have to fight. We need them to. So please organize everybody you can, and follow, Defend Atlanta Forest on Instagram, and follow Stop Cop City on Instagram. Also, stopcop.city is their website, and then stopcopcitysolidarity.org is their other website. So please do follow them. Please let as many people as you can know about this, and please, explain, keep an eye on what's going on. And thank you, and y'all have a great day.